Look how beautifully the setup was set. Kamikaze forcing Bride onto the kite's line of sight, and Melusi denying breach on the yellow stairs. It is time to learn how to play Smoke properly. From his setup on the most ranked maps, playing early, mid and late round, as well as how to use his canisters more than just against the planting or push denial. If you have any feedback, please let me down in the comment section, or even better in my community Discord. Before we start, Smoke Glitch nerf will not change how Smoke will be played. There will be timestamps if you want to skip some part. Let's start immediately with the coastline setup, and the shield that Smoke will put is against the VIP push, because a lot of the times the VIP duo walls will be opened, and the attackers will have an angle on Shaiko spot. You can also use that deployable shield against the cool vibe stairs push. Next goals are holes so that from Shaiko he can throw canisters all the way to the hookah entrance, and also he can deny the default plant spot in hookah. The last holes he will make is to force the takers to play Nyakwa on the luggage side, since feet level holes are one-sided in this situation. Generally, what you will also see is Smoke as quick as possible to check default outside cameras to see outside drones where they are. You can see one now by the hookah entrance, but also he saw one on the floor. This can be pretty good indication of a theater and the hookah push. Or on Clubhouse, having rotation between the sides is mandatory, but what a lot of people do not do is putting a shield like this, so whoever plays in blue can deny moto drop with the shield, but also Kamikaze will re-put it on the left side, because you don't want to have any gap from moto drop between the shield and the reinforcement in the blue. You always want to be able to safely go behind the shield against the moto drop angle. The huge hole between Long and Arsenal is against the kitchen drop, and the reason Kamikaze is opening up the ceiling near the hedge is for the impact tricking. For on Convolate, you will see Smoke destroying the nearby hedge walls because Kite will put his claw under it. And if Termite, Hibana or Ace will be opening up the walls next to the hedge, it will bypass the Kite's Electroclaw. A default rotation between the security and dining will be put, and will end up the preparatory phase with a strong shield on the pipes, which allows Smoke to plant the pipes even if attackers kept the vertical control from the piano. This shield will win NIP the round. That was the introduction clip, if you remember, but we'll go to that in a bit. If you had seen the Ashe video, this round might be familiar due to the beautiful Ashe and Zofia rush. But now we'll give games the Navi setup from one of the best, if not the best Smoke players, Alemão. The shield that was just put needs to be put in this way, because if it is just on the edge of the stairs, the defender by the shield will have no cover from the main stairs. This way, the half wall covers their position, and they choose when to pick the taker on the stairs, if necessary. If the shield will be too far, then anyone rappelling upside down on the study window will have an angle on you, unless you're just by the shield, but in that case you're stuck behind it. Pit level holes are again one-way angles from proning piano to long hallway, and from behind the bar to 90. Rotation between the sides, an additional angle against study. Usually you will pair up shield slightly with bat, but Clash can do the trick as well. And the last holes are for throwing smoke canisters towards behind the vault. A few more vertical angles, and that is it. This is the last setup we'll be talking about. If you want a video dedicated to only Smoke setups in the Pro League, I have setups for 2 most popular objectives for all 7 Pro League maps. This setup is interesting because 1. Mutant Smoke won't bring shotgun, since there is a Runian Frost pick. No need for a lot of rotations between the sides on Chalet, on this side. Default reinforcements for anyone playing in stock, and a barricade against the pesky Edge Crouch Walker. The deployable shield was put so a runic gadget can catch the projectile before hitting the shield. This usually means that the runic gate will be able to get reactivated, since when the deployable shield gets destroyed, it will be very hard to push the library stairs, Mezan, and the top library corner players. I wanted to use this clip just to show how FMG and the MP5K on mute or smoke can be picked, but usually they are not. Rotation towards the office is also good for this setup to be able to be more aggressive on the office pushes. Alright, let's talk about the early to mid round. What Smoke is supposed to do. Generally, what Smoke is doing is being on the outside cameras that are alive, or checking if they are alive, as you can see right now. Kamikaze will be on the camera all the way till attackers get around the tower, and start to push slightly bit down. And then one of his teammates will be on the camera, as long as it is on. Usually you will say how Smoke is supposed to play in the elbow, but Kamikaze will be playing by Shaiko spot, which allows him to play against two angles at the same time. We'll talk about that in a bit later, but he can throw canisters on the tower stairs and contest blue, or reverse. He can smoke off blue and play off the tower. You can see Jaeger being on the cameras during this period, and Mira is ready to play crossfires with smoke on the pillars through the E-box wall. Just based on the early info, Mint will be swapping shield from blue to wine cellar, expecting snowball push, Montaigne. In all of the rounds, you can see how defenders are eager to get the drones, even if that means going off the cameras, stopping reinforcing, etc. That's something what the average Joe in ranked wouldn't do. We haven't been on cafes so far, so let's see. You will see Skies, F since he retired, playing in the VIP, with a lot of hold toward the freezer. The Plobo shield facing freezer with two ADSs. This round might be familiar to you as well, because this setup with the yokai drone I was talking about in the Ash video. Skies is playing in the most important position in this hold, as he's denying the head drop to the walls. Freezer to hallway push, double window to T push, brown stairs, and the main entrance push. He's literally denying all possible freezer pushes. Here's the rest of the util around him, and obviously the mentioned yokai drone. The yokai drone disallows the takers picking aggressively Smoke nor Jaeger. You'll also see on the left screen how Smoke is using his canister after destroying a drone, to force even more drones droning him out. This will leave BDS out of the drones, and they have just 4 drones remaining. We are getting late to the round, but you can see how just Smoke forced the attackers to jump the hedge, and go for a quick push. If Smoke would fall, Jaeger will collapse, and this will be a totally different round. Smoke canisters, used elsewhere than to deny the push, was better in this case. This is a beautiful example of canister usage that has nothing to do with the plan denial but just pure droning. You will see Kamikaze toying with the pesky drones right now, denying as much info from the attackers as possible. When you pair him destroying the drones, roamers destroying the drones, attackers will end up in the situation with the lack of drones, and then their flanks will be vulnerable in a lot of situations. Generally speaking, you'll most likely want to play around the objective, as a Smoke, beyond the cameras or denying the intel from the attackers. But let's see the following cafes clip, because Chala will be playing in a bit more aggressive situation, shop with plenty of utility. He has ADSs and a Rudy gadget covering up the castle barricade, so anyone rappelling on the piano window will have a harder time clearing him out. This setup allows Smoke to heavily deny the red drop. Jaeger denies the new hedge drop, he's on a safe position against the skylight and the new hedge. And Chala with his canisters can stall if he's about to be flushed or generally pushed. This is a very strong position for Smoke, and the main reason why I have put this clip here is Smoke is supposed to lose all 3 canisters in this position, so he's not going to have any smokes left for the planned denial. Alright, let's talk about mid to late round now. This is a beautiful Neskin and Levi setup of holding angles, but sadly, we will be baited by a drone and Shaiko will take the opportunity to kill him. However, when Levi dies, Alemao will immediately come to assist Neskin. You can see now how Smoke is holding old Aruni's angle, and Arun is holding the old Melusi's angle. After a bit of bait, Alemao is taking the lead since Smoke shines playing by the staircases. Shotguns are deadly on the stairs, and especially with the canisters to again, if about to be flashed, to smoke it off. When droned out, Alemao will prone in a blind spot of Shaiko, and Neskin will be in an irregular position, all to make sure that at least a trade happens, but realistically, both defenders have a bigger advantage over Ash. Mint will be put in a pretty dangerous position, smoking off immediately after the attackers opening up the objective walls, since Dark Zero was doing the variant of the SSG hold on the chalet. The canister allows 2 things here: to push in corner a smoke, where Mint currently is, And you can see already 3 defenders in blue, getting ready to deny the push. And that was all possible because smoke canister stole them out. The blue player, Skies, is watching the breach from the smoke. So the only angle smoke is exposed right now is the west stairs and trench. Sadly for Dark Zero, since Cyclops opened up the snowmobile walls, nobody from the defenders could retake the connector and held smoke denying the trench angle, which will cost his life. But this was one of the way of using canisters, to make your roamers to go back to the objective slightly bit slower than just rushing and dropping down the hatch, in case you were left in the objective alone. Back to NIP, and this is the reason why the pipe shield is so powerful. Check all the crossfires on the defenders, and Valkyries around the archives holding their back. Smoke with his canister not only denies the plant, but also forces Bride into the clear line of sight of Kaid, un-ADS'd. You can also see how Smoke smoked off both places in the right moment, just after being concussed from Zofia the second time. Usually when the concuss starts going off, smokes or similar, that's your signal to throw the canisters. Sometimes it can be a bait, but usually it's not. Just with the shield and perfectly positioned of the other two defenders, the round was won by NIP. Alemão tried to do a similar thing from Cafeteria, but screwed up all 3 canisters. His teammates, as well as his decision to push aggressively after being out of the utility, won them the round. Not related to this, but a beautiful Valkyrie and C4 trap on piano. Smoke also, after running out the canisters on Oregon, throwing all of them on the tower stairs, started to play a lot more aggressive. It's important to understand here how canisters in a lot of matches or rounds were used prior to plant or way earlier than the last 30 seconds. When the plant is happening, that's already a bit too late. On the Dark Zero's clip, Smoke also used all the canisters, and after that, he picked the double window in T, allowing Jaeger to have slightly more freedom denying the head drop from the fireplace in Freezer. Since as previously mentioned, BDS couldn't push out Smoke just because of the smartly positioned utility and Smoke using his canisters in a great time. Before several uses of canisters and a full round of Alemão's smoke round, it's important to highlight how it's not better or worse to keep the canisters till the end. It's important to stay on your ground as much as your team needs you to stay there. So, don't save your canisters if you need to use them. Alright, let's talk about one more canister used on the Oregon's attack. We have already seen a lot of smart canisters uses, such as the Consulate, Oregon on Tower, Cafe VIP Hall, and so on, but this now will be more selfish one. What you could see is Smoke smoking off lobby, so Zofia cannot refrag Smoke after killing Hibana. Let's go to overview. The first smoke was to let his teammates focus only to Freezer, because if Zo was in storage, she would have been killed by the smoke. Also, he's keeping Nomad stuck with the smoke as well. Smoke will kill Hibana with the help of the last canister, but Nomad immediately drops down. The trick is, Jaeger is holding tower side from blue, since it is not being contested. Basically, Smokey is holding 2 angles at the same time, Lobby with the help of the canister and Freezer with the help of the SMG-11, and Jaeger is holding his flank. We'll wrap this video with one smoke full round video from one and the only one Alemão from Team 1. But you will see is a lot of flicking toward the floor because, why not? Opening up the hatch in the bedroom and vertical angles is just to slightly put more pressure on the attackers if they will be attacking vertically. Some teams like to heavily hold bedroom even with a deployable shield on it. Apex really loves that. For the study setup, it's going to be as similar as the Avian game. Angles toward the study, rotation between the rooms, one-way angles to long and vertical angles to main entrance. We will end up the rotations with a default between Astro and Statuary with the open hatch and the windows shattered on the Astro window. Also, what you can see is Alemão opening up the angle, that is usually done for the angles to the red stairs. But Alemão will be using this for the smoke canisters toward the Statuary, but also to deny the trophy push from the split. A deployable shield to toilet, just to fortify Astro. So now we will go to see some unusual stuff. Smoke playing a bit more aggressive, even if anchoring. This is needed because if we go slightly bit back, There are two roamers still in games on Aviator, and what Smoke here is doing is letting the roamers know that the rotation back to the objective is safe. Let's go to overview. Mozzie in school, facing study to deny the drone or two. Jaeger holding the red stairs flank, and Smoke holding Wolf window. Notice how when Mozzie goes back, all three defenders will go back. And not even that, Smoke will replace his Astra shield in statuary, after replacing it to the trophy, which C9 will have a bit of issues to destroying. This is all possible because none of the C9 members are by the bedroom's window. Usually, you want to have a pixel angle with one side of the shield, but this also works. Zofia will get killed by the rooftop by Alemao. Most likely, he hear her dropping from one of the rooftops. And again, usually when some stuff is about to happen, just smoke the area off. But you can see his Maestro slowly going up the red stairs from basement. Jaeger taking care of the bedroom push, whereas the other three defenders are occupied with the two entrances. Proning in these situations is usually go-to, because you will be in the blind spots. When Kite dies, Jaeger will go immediately for Astro. Notice how Smoke and Mozzie are not even caring for Kite getting killed because Jaeger will replace him. Even during the plant, Smoke didn't stand up. He trusted his teammates of denying the plant. Final thoughts. Smoke glitching getting removed is not a huge deal to Smoke. There were just few locations that required it, like on Kids Defense on Oregon, or Connector on Consulate. You also might want to say Shaiko's spot, but playing Smoke in Pirate will do the job. If you like to see full Smoke setups from the pro players on all Pro League maps, let me know down in the comments section.